Learning how to walk in Rio, now I'm learning how to walk in Europe.
See,
And people say I didn't make it. Rio is just huge. So for me to get to the facility, it would take for me 2 hours. I started doing at a very young age.
that's a lot of responsibility at a young age. Flamengo to Fluminense, but you went back to Flamengo.
Yeah.
Why?
Vini was an arrow. You couldn't touch it. Pace, strong.
Agile.
You know how crazy it is that I'm landing in those places that I've never been to in my life,
Never.
not knowing no one. No, Ronaldinho, whenever they were practicing at the same time as us, we are staring at them. Running in the middle of the field, and he's like, oh, there you go. He finally arrived.
9-10-year-old field.
Yeah.
He's running to the field.
Yeah. Going forward, that's where I happened to have my right knee injury, which turned my life upside down. He wasn't with us all the time. He was already playing for the second team. But Leão was in that group as well.
Rafael Leão.
Rafael Leão.
You mentioned it before, but you did play against or play with at some point Rodrygo.
Yeah, growing up. Rodrygo, he put him in skate too.
And that's your dad. Your dad played professional. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. He played with Corinthians.
He did. It's one of the biggest clubs in Brazil. Remember when you're saying you find yourself? I found myself in senior year. I realized I need more findings.
You need more finding. You have more finding to do.
I had more findings to do. I definitely had more findings to do.
Are you satisfied where you are right now?
What's next? You never know. You might see Vic.
Vic, if I were to book a flight to Brazil tomorrow would be February, it's March, right? If I were to book a flight to Brazil tomorrow, hold on. What are 5 things that I should do while I'm in Brazil for a week? I only have a week, 7 days. What are 5 things I should do?
I don't know about everybody, but you gotta come to my crib. You know what I mean? You're getting definitely try new foods. Mm-hmm. I think that will be the first one. Because you have our cuisine is very unique. I feel like it's closer than Mexican, but a little bit better.
Better.
I would say. Food. You gotta go to the Christ Redeemer. Mm-hmm. Which is like the main attractions, one of the 7 wonders. You gotta go dive on in my opinion, the sea that cleans your soul. You gotta go to the beach. Yeah, Ipanema Beach. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's definitely a paradise, I would say. Because we have like 2 mountains that we call 2 brothers.
How you say it in Portuguese?
Dois irmãos.
Dois irmãos.
Dois irmãos.
Dois irmãos.
Irmãos. Irmãos. Okay. So they're like, one is taller than the other, and like by the end of the beach, so you have a really nice view. Mm-hmm. I love music, so I would make sure you go to a really nice place where you could have live music. Mm-hmm. Clean. Hold on.
Clean music.
Clean music.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Chilling. Sit down. Mm-hmm. You gotta put your foot in the ground, because now you are in the land. You know what I mean?
The land.
And then the fifth one. You gotta play the game. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna bring you to the best pickups in the city.
Court.
Yeah, court, sand, whatever you pick. You can try it out, all of them. Mm. You're gonna see some crazy things going on. Some guys you see some things on the TV, they've been doing even crazier.
When you're home, do you do the same thing?
That's like basically how I live my life in Brazil. Mm-hmm. I try to be in touch with people that I love all the time, family, friends, play some football, eat good food, and enjoy as much as I can the good weather.
Food, Christ the Redeemer, beaches. What was the fourth one? Was it
Live music.
live music? And then
Play the
play the
game.
game.
The beautiful game.
This
Not
is
the
home.
fake one.
This is
The
home
real
for you.
one. That's home.
This is all home for you.
Yeah.
When's the last time you've been home?
Prior to my senior year, that was 2023. Summer.
3.
Summer.
Wow.
Summer here, winter there.
Yeah.
But like since Brazil, we have good weather in Rio.
Throughout the year.
Throughout the year, we don't get too cold. Where at point you have to wear a hoodie. I don't think it gets to that point.
So like you do Celsius or Fahrenheit?
We do Celsius.
So like 20s.
So, yeah, it's like no, 20 is cold. 20 is a cold weather.
So like what was
30.
So it's hot.
Yeah,
Hot.
it's kind of nice.
All throughout the year, hot.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm
you have
thinking-
rainy days a lot in the winter
Yeah.
though.
Cause I'm thinking like, you know, hot for us is like high, like no, 33. 33 for you too. 33 Celsius.
Hot? The
That's
hot
hot
for me
for
is
us.
40.
You get to 40s in Brazil.
Yes, 41,
Oh, hot.
42.
Hot
On a
day.
really hot day, you know, there's not even space to sit in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody just packing.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody wants to refresh themselves.
Yeah.
You get like the coconut water.
Mm.
People selling stuff by the beach. There's a game called Altinha that we play. There's like
Our team.
yeah, it's like 3 or 4 people, and we have to keep the ball up. with only one touch, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's foot volley as well.
Foot
A
volley.
little bit more closer
So
to the
for volley is different to our team.
Yeah. For volley, you play like a 2v2 or a 1v2 or a 1v1 on a sand volleyball court.
Okay.
Beach volleyball court.
Okay. Yeah, that's yeah.
And then you can only use chest, tight. You can use anything but your hands, basically.
Yeah.
And that's where the technique.
That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
This is home.
That's home. That's where I grew up at.
How important is family?
Family foundation keeps you. I would say I heard once that triangle is one of the strongest geometric forms because you have 2 pillars and it thinners when you go up. So I feel like that's basically how a family should be built, like 2 lovely parents and helping this kid come up.
The structures.
The structure is the parents.
Vic, you're only child.
Only one.
Special?
Special? For them too, yes.
You feel special?
I feel special. I feel loved. A lot of love just for me.
How important your family? Your 2 parents. Your parents for you. How important are they for you, especially now that you're 25?
There is no need to say that loud.
What influence did they have on you?
I think everything that I do nowadays, it definitely has an influence in what they think and what they wanted for me growing up. And me trying to please them, me placing them results in me being helpful with myself. So I tend to do smart choices and trying to please them that's gonna have an impact on my own happiness. Because if they're happy, I'm happy. This makes sense.
Are you happy right now?
I am happy. I'm happy. Yesterday I was laying in bed, looking at my computer. I was working on some stuff, and I humbly was thinking that for what I have accomplished in my life and what I'm standing at right now, I feel like I'm in the right track, and I feel like I'm a cool guy, because of this stuff that I've been up to the last few years.
The stuff that you've been up to the last few years. Now, this is a lot of stuff, Vic, from getting to know you. For those that don't know,
You're being too nice, bro. Just keep it humble,
Haven't even
Don't
started yet.
you
Haven't
throwing
even
the
started
standards in the sky.
You are my teammate for right now. Yes, you're my teammate, and you're older than me, and I've always so far getting to know you. I've learned a lot about how you've come up through the sport, how you've come up through living in the US, moving away from home to different countries, not just the US. And I'm glad that I'm sitting with you here today because not only do you have the ability to share it with me again or in more detail, but you can share it with someone that would love to hear your story, and I'm sure that they would love to hear it based on your experience. Let's start with the fifth thing that I need to do if I go to Brazil. Play the game. You started at a young age, and I'm going to tie that into family because you have a very important figure in your life that has been probably, arguably, and you may attest to this, one of your biggest influences, if not your biggest influence in the game, and that's your dad. Your dad played professional. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, he played with Corinthians.
He did had a run with Corinthians, which is, if you're not educated enough, you should go watch the Brazilian league. It's one of the biggest clubs in Brazil. They recently brought Memphis Depay,
Yeah.
to the club now. So it's a team that has a lot of tradition and definitely
History.
Yeah, history behind it. They won against Chelsea in 2012 as well in
The
FIFA World Cup.
Club World Cup.
Club World Cup. Yeah, my dad, he had a short career. Yeah, I would say short professionally, but like we started playing at such a young age in Brazil. So if you count like since the beginning, it's like more than 20 years.
You said we stopped playing at such a young age in Brazil. What do you mean? Start.
Yeah.
Start, not stop.
Start. Yeah.
What age did you start playing?
I started organizing soccer at 5, but my first organization, like big team, was at 9. 8. At 8 years old, I went to Flamengo, which is another massive club in Brazil.
Big club, Flamengo at 8 years old.
At 8 years old, they have one of the best youth academies in the country. So they happen to be on my hometown. Which is funny because my dad was planning to bring me to Flamengo once I turned 12 years old.
12.
Not at 9.
Not at 8.
8, yeah.
Because
It's just I feel like there's an age where you are mature enough that you could definitely, for example, if I needed to go to practice by myself, at 12 is way more reasonable than at 8.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Cross the city, Rio is, it has a lot of crime. So growing up, transportation was also always an issue when it comes to me going to practice or school and then having to balance those two. It was definitely hectic. Yeah.
More so because of the safety aspect. Because you mentioned crime. You have to travel to games or travel to
practice. Yes.
But you weren't. You had to travel. Was it far? How far was it?
So I lived in the suburbs, but Rio is just huge. So for me to get to the facility, on top of the distance, I also had the traffic. So it would take for me 2 hours to get to practice.
Because of the traffic?
Sometimes even longer.
If there was no traffic, then how long?
No, 2 hours and 1 hour and a half without traffic.
Without traffic?
Yeah, 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. If I was catching a bus, struggling days, it's like 2.
A bit longer.
Yeah, 2.5. Like a long ride.
Yeah. You doing this by yourself?
I started doing at a very young age, like at 10, 11-ish, maybe. That's when let's test it out. Let's send him by himself and see if he can find his ways. And from there, we're going to start working on maybe we should let him go once in a while so you can get used to it. I was definitely on a transition to move by myself around the city at 11-year-old, 11, 12.
That's a lot of responsibility at a young age.
Yeah.
Some kids don't realize how much responsibility they have in those situations. But did you at the time think of how much responsibility
Going with the
you had?
flow.
You did
Going with the flow.
Free.
Yes.
Same personality.
Let's go. Showtime.
Yeah.
Put my backpack on and
go.
Yeah. I had no choice. So I was
football.
like, either I want to do what I love and get to spend time with my teammates, my friends at the time. And at the time, I was having an amazing experience because it was such a big change, being able to play for a club that you see in the stadiums with 90,000 people screaming the professional player's name, and then you see all of them players wearing jewelry, big cars,
partying,
nice clothes on. They were the coolest guys, you know. So I was definitely in awe when I saw them the first time.
And you were playing for the youth academy.
Yeah.
There had to have been a moment or many moments where you were like, okay, I'm taking this to the next level. I'm going to be those players. That's true.
Yes, because you start having like the perks of being
in academy.
You get the kids. You get to see your favorite players from close by you, like maybe walking around, you just like spot them chilling, eating a banana, you know, and you stop by, ask some questions, like some kids stuff, you know, and then you got a lot of respect in your neighborhood. Your friends start to look up to you, and then that's when the standards to be an athlete it starts to come. When it comes to you have to move certain way, you can't be found in certain environments, because that basically becomes your life.
That was your life from a young age. That was the start. That was the start. But from speaking with you before, it wasn't necessarily a case where you stayed at one club. You from my research, you did manage to move from club to club to club. What was that like? And explain for those that transitioning from club to club how that is, because if you are at the age of 12 and 13, 14, 15, you're changing clubs. What was that like? And which club did you change to?
I went to play for the rival. It's Fluminense, how you call it.
Fluminense.
It's another team, another big club at home. They have one of the best academies. They are known for having a unique style of play for the academy players. More technical and more structural soccer, I would say, which is a little bit different than what we are being taught at Flamengo. At that point, now it might be completely changed. I don't know how it's working now, because I haven't been watching and in touch with the academies in Brazil, so I can't speak as it going right now. But when on my time, back in the day, that was basically one of the reasons where I moved to Fluminense. It was more because of the approach that they give to me. We are here to develop you into a better version of yourself. You're going to come in, we're going to work on the fundamentals. We are worried that you're going to be able to not only get you the first team, but we want to teach you more about the game itself.
So you saw that difference straight away?
Yeah, right away.
Yeah.
They touch with the players as well, the professionals.
But was it just because you're around the same age, but what was Flamengo? If they're both big clubs, why is Flamengo not at the level that Fluminense was?
I think it was just at that point specific in time, the coaching staff and the directors, the way that they ran Fluminense, it was more organized
At the time.
and they had a culture and a style of play more defined
Okay. Than Flamengo.
than Flamengo at that time.
Okay. Your dad saw this as well.
Yeah, my dad is. I think I was way ahead of the other kids because he played the game, and he has been through all of that. So it's basically him living his life over again. Doesn't make sense. So he knew how to move the pieces when it comes to me because he has been through it by himself when he was younger. So it was like, okay, the mistakes that I had, I do not want you to happen to my kid, or I have this way because I feel that's what I needed when I was at his age. So I think on his heart and mind, that was the best move for me as an athlete and as a person.
A young player as well. I'm going to pick on what you just said about him living and knowing what he's already done and he's doing it for you. It's very easy to get that mixed up with him living through you.
No.
Was that the case?
No. I have a strong personality. I feel like at the end of the day, he's going to be my father. And I think his mission here is to lead me to better choice. But I'm the one picking.
You the one make decisions.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I'm the one picking. If I want to go left, the consequence is going to be on me. But also, if it goes right, I will leave the glory to. So,
Flamengo to Fluminense, but you went back to Flamengo.
Yeah.
Why? It's your home.
Love, yeah, it's home.
Family.
Yeah, I've been around those guys, and it felt right to go back at that time. It was a different age group, so we had already moved on from the old coaches, and I was in a process where all my friends were going to one place. We were riding the same car. My friends are going to one place. My dad is dropping me off in another place. It didn't make sense. And it's always about friendships, I feel like. Teammates, what you feel, more welcomed.
Your friends were your teammates. Your teammates were your friends. To the most part, or in the entirety? Or all of your teammates your friends?
All of them, we are tight. We are going in the weekends to play together.
Yeah.
On top, you know how crazy it is? Like, we're going to play a game. Let's say we have a game Saturday. We're playing a game, like official game. On top of that, game is over, blowing Gatorade. Let's go to this guy's house because it has a big field and we can play again. And then we used to go and play again until the end of the day.
Really?
That's how tight we were. And then when I moved, I was like, on top of playing with these friends, I would also get my friends from Fluminense as well. So I'll bring both teams together. And eventually it became like a whole family where out for the biggest clubs, spending time and playing the game.
But then you moved back, didn't you?
Yeah, but the reason why I moved back is definitely a more professional and business reason, I would say. A business move.
Business move?
Yeah.
You moved back to Fluminense?
Fluminense, yeah.
The club that had more of a structure
at
the time?
Yeah.
And you stayed there?
Yes.
How old are you?
Like, I was approaching 13.
13?
Yeah.
When you moved back?
When I moved back.
Who did you leave behind?
Like, you mean my teammates?
Yeah.
You mean the name of them? You want me to mention?
No. Who are the friends, the teammates that you left behind that are still playing today?
We had Vini, that is playing for Real Madrid now in the Champions League. which is probably one of the most known that came out of the academies at the time. For Flamengo, most of those guys, they are playing in the first division of, not in the big 5 leagues though. So I have friends playing in Saudi Arabia from that team. Another friends are still playing in Brazil at the first division at Flamengo or in another clubs. But I think he is the one that got it further.
Hold on. Now, obviously, we spoke. You play with Vinny.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't just play with him. You were pretty close to him as a friend. And you were the same age as him. What was he like when you all were just in your 10, 13, 10, 12? That age?
Playing wise or as a person?
Your relationship is like, how were you? What was your relationship like?
We are really close. Our families are close.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a teammate and a friend. I would spend time at his house, wear his clothes, eat his mom's home cooked meals.
Mm-hmm.
He would do the same for me as well. It was inevitable to create a bond since we are sharing those early on moments of our career. We actually went for Europe at first time together as well on a trip to Spain and Portugal. We played one tournament in both countries.
For the club? Which club?
Yeah, we were like Flamengo. We were
Flamengo.
like U11s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
U10s, maybe 11s. It was not even 11v11. It was like a 7v7 tournament.
7v7 tournament.
We played against big teams like Real Madrid, Juventus,
Under 11, U11.
U11s.
Wow.
Yeah, Juventus and Madrid. We played against them too.
What was that like?
It was nice, bro.
Yeah.
It was nice. The stadium was packed. A lot of people in there.
First time at the big leagues, no?
Nah, big leagues. It was more like a playground. It was just having fun. It's just going with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were so young.
Yeah.
Like 11 years old. You don't want to put pressure on an 11-year-old.
Yeah.
However, there was also responsibility because we knew the type of investment was made for us to make that trip, and which is not easy. And we also wanted to perform and show that we could hang with them. Because you always have this, at the early age, we already listen and hear to how much better Europeans are. And it's not the case. It's not the case. Not the case.
How much, I'm interested because at that age, how much was he better than the rest of the players?
It was definitely a standout.
Really?
Yeah, you could definitely spot it like right away. First touch, dribbling, speed, how strong. I think he was way ahead of his time when it comes to his body development. He definitely, because it happens really often on a young age when guys are 11 but they look 13. So he was definitely ahead of his time when it comes to that. And that made him a little bit faster and stronger and could do things that other kids couldn't do. Yeah. I mean, he still does things that other kids can do. But it was definitely easy to spot it.
Yeah. And you playing with him, I assume in training it was a bit difficult to play against him.
No, I think at 12, I was still doing crazy things too. Like, give me that ball. I got it. I think when he went to 13, it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
13, 14, not even close. From then and beyond, like for 15, 16, it wasn't even close. You couldn't even touch it.
Really?
Walker, like, yeah, same thing.
You then move back to Fluminense, leaving some of your friends and teammates behind. Who now you're, how old are you? 14, 15 after this?
Yeah, 14. I played 13, second semester, then 14, 15, 16.
Mm-hmm. That was the period of time before you eventually moved away to out of Brazil for the first time.
Not for the first time. Yeah, it's like career-wise.
Yeah, like a big move.
Yeah, I was bold. It was a bold move.
Bold.
Yeah. I trust a lot of my skills, bro. Dude, that is not easy at all.
Your dad would have helped you with this move and kind of facilitated where you were gonna go. And you're a center back all throughout.
I always was. I played 6 as well. So let's say like if I was playing up, I would definitely play as a 6 because of height. Like I wasn't strong enough maybe to play as center back. And I was also had a good touch with the ball, and I wasn't afraid to play. So they moved me forward to see how I felt like, and then it worked pretty well, and it added a lot to my game as well. So I was often like playing 6 center back, like on rotation.
Then but eventually you had to you were secured. That makes sense as a center back.
Yeah,
which is what your dad played. Yeah, and I would assume he would have suggested that you play center back, or no?
He kind of forced me to.
Forced you to play center back.
Because I definitely did not want to play center back. Who wants to defend at 98 years old, bro? They like picked. I was tall, so like they were like, "Oh, this guy in the back, go to the back, go kick people, and defend." And now my game, I'm really like explosive, and that was the same thing when I was younger. So for me to go and reach for the ball and take it, the whole problem was to pass the ball to the forward because I wanted to run.
There's a picture that I'm going to add into this. There's a picture of 2 pictures. One where you have this big afro, like David Luiz, 2014. You have this big afro, and then there's one where I believe you have like a Neymar, like mohawk or whatever. Something I've seen. You showed me it before. But what's interesting about this picture is that who is in the picture? And I can picture right now. You may not be thinking which one you showed me, but before speaking about moving to different clubs, at your first club, Fluminense, the first time, you said that you were in an environment where you could see the first team players coming in and out of training.
No, that was a Flamengo. At Fluminense as well, but Flamengo was
the first time, yeah.
Yeah, Flamengo was more. They were more open to us. You know what I mean? They were approachable.
Flamengo.
Yeah, because they're walking around like literally. You know when you're walking on campus, you see a guy that plays basketball, another plays volleyball. He's just crossing each other all the time. Same thing.
Who's in the picture? Who's in the picture?
Ronaldinho. He's. I think. Like what we see on TV is what happens in real life, bro. Big smile. I always like really care. He cares a lot about his fans, and then with us with the academy players, it wasn't any different. He would always like speak towards a word and make sure we get the best experience out of him because he's a worldwide.
Like a worldwide
figure. He's not even a player. He's a figure, you know?
Figure,
yeah. So he often would walk across us. It was really nice. Really? That's really nice memories. Like run in the middle of our fields.
So you're training and Ronaldinho just running through your field.
Yeah.
To go to practice.
Yeah. I think that was one of the funniest memories that I have with him. Because it's not normal. Because let's say like we arrived to the practice. And whenever they were practicing at the same time as us, we are staring at them. Like we're looking for the place. Oh, we see him. You see the earring.
Yeah.
Oh, he got low socks. So I want to practice with low socks too. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then we all looking for him. The headband.
Yeah,
You know, the hair like. And then we're like, where is he? Where is he at? Nothing. We didn't see him. After a while, time goes on, practice start, we move on. In the middle of the practice, bro. The hair. Big Tiffin, you know. Running in the middle of the field. And he's like, oh, there you go. He finally arrived like after, I think it was at least 30 minutes deep in practice.
30 minutes late and he's running through your field.
I don't even want to know what he was up to that last night. The night before.
9, 10-year-old field, soccer practice, football practice.
Yeah.
He's running to the field.
Yeah.
And y'all standing there like, wow.
But we used to see him all the time, but we still spot him and definitely looked.
Yeah.
We got to practice with him once as well.
Really, like a little fun. Like.
Yeah, little fun, small side game. Because they were recording a documentary or something, and then Ronaldinho had to be involved in it for a scene or two. So we got to play with him as a young kid, which is really nice. It's something that you always gonna remember.
I think now that you can reflect on it, it's good to have those memories to always think about. You know, that happened and that was a time where you were happy. You're happy now, but you were happy then, for sure.
It's good because it always give you like a really nice look to what the game have brought to your life. I was actually thinking about that today, and one ball has given me everything that I have, bro. My friends, my memories, place I've been to, college degrees. Like I'm blessed. Like I got to enjoy the game and experience some life lessons and lifetime memories, you know, that I'm gonna definitely remember about those things when I'm 70, 80. Yeah. Definitely. Might not remember everything, but the highlights, that's one of them that's gonna definitely be there.
Vic, the way you speak on your experience as a kid just it paints a picture in my head of what you were like as a kid. I know how you are now, but for me, it tells me that your personality as a kid, it hasn't changed. It just developed as you got older. And moving from 16, 17, and now you're moving abroad by yourself, this was probably...
Learning how to walk in Rio, now I'm learning how to walk in Europe.
See.
And people say I didn't make it.
Big change, big transition.
It was.
Big transition.
It was. But I think everything that has happened to my life, it was written, and then the experience that I had before definitely shaped me to be ready to leave what was coming, you know.
Germany.
I went to Germany. Cold. Gray. Pretty
at least, no? Not really?
No, but if you compare to Rio, not even close. I did not like it.
How did this move come about? Why did you go to Germany first?
Because I needed somewhere where I could get used to the environment, how they play the game, and just being able to experience that first shock in Germany has definitely played a big part on me moving on, like in a better position when it comes to mindset and playing the game as well, because that was the big hit. You know, when boxing fighters, they start to practice, they train at the worst conditions.
Yeah,
I think that was it. Going to a place where I don't speak their language at all, cold, and just by the communication and the weather, had made me move to Portugal and had made my move to Portugal and Spain easier to go through.
You're a young kid playing an experienced position, center back. 16, 17. You weren't 18 yet, were you?
No. I was 17, I think.
How tall were you at 17? Same height? Should be.
No, 6 foot. Like, I definitely gained... No, it might be the same height.
Same height, roughly.
Maybe, yeah.
But you were still playing. You probably weren't the same size.
No.
No.
No, I was skinny. Really skinny upper body. My lower body was always strong.
But you're playing in an experienced position, moving to a professional club to train with. For me, what is that like? Because if you're training in this position, where normally you have 26, 27-year-olds at center back, and here's this kid from Brazil, earrings, hair.
Loud.
What was that like?
They definitely did not. Some of them did not appreciate it. We were talking about like when I was playing in Spain or in Sporting, because at Sporting was people they were my age.
They were your age, yeah.
Yeah, they were like you under 18, under 19.
But not in Germany though. They were older.
In Germany, they were older. However, I was mostly practicing with a under 19 as well.
The 19 team.
Yeah. But it doesn't really change much because I was definitely the youngest in the locker. And foreign, really, I would say raw as well, since it was like the very first experience in Europe. So that guy to what I was standing a year later, there's a lot of differences. Like when it comes to also playing, because I definitely improved a lot across that year.
Yeah.
Across that year.
Because you didn't stay in Germany long. You didn't stay.
No, I was there for 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah, 3 months
then
max.
First moved to Sporting.
And then I went to Sporting. And then that's when the shift happened. Like, okay, I'm playing with like high level players from
Sporting in Spain.
Huh?
Sporting and Spain. That's where the shift happened.
Yeah. I think that's when you either are or you aren't.
Spain was first.
No, Portugal was first. Yeah.
Sporting. The shift when you mentioned playing with players that were highest level.
Yeah, because that's like when national team.
Yeah.
You play with players that are playing in the youth Champions League. You play with players that are the next ones to be in the big screen, I would say. Because Sporting at that time had the most academy players in the first 5 leagues in Europe, if I'm not mistaken. So it's definitely an academy that you have to respect a lot, what they're working on at the time. And I was scared too, because it's like, maybe I can't hang with those guys.
Did you?
I did. It didn't take a lot of practice, bro. Maybe in the first, second ones, I was a little shy, only. But once you start getting comfortable, and people start like giving you, because it's sports, like you get a handshake, you feel good about yourself. Okay, you're nice, and then people start talking to you, people start joking with you, and once you get comfortable, I'm a guy. Once I'm comfortable. And they did a mistake to let me be comfortable. So when they did that mistake, they welcomed me in, give me nicknames and stuff.
Yeah.
Then I started doing my thing. I was way more loose when it comes to passing, dribbling. I dribble. I have a good technique when it comes to getting out of the pressure. And then I started to just show what I'm able to do, how my game look like.
This is a big difference because in Germany you didn't enjoy your time, but now you're able to move to not only a country that you've been enjoying your football at, your soccer at.
We speak the same language.
You speak the same language as well, which made it a lot easier, I can imagine. In general, what's Portugal like at a young age? Being able to live in Portugal by yourself.
I was living a dream, bro. I remember waking up and like, Yeah, let's leave, you know? I'm going to enjoy this. I was excited. Let's go to the locker. Let me put my cleats on, talk to my teammates. I want to see what kind of stuff they're going to show me today because they used to show me music all the time. I would play mine too in the locker. I was playing my music in the locker, bro. I'm the only Brazilian there.
Only Brazilian?
Yes. And they're like, come here, play your music.
They liked it?
Dance. I was like, bro, I'm not a clown, bro. What do you mean?
Who's in the locker room? Who's
Bro, I think I'm a good locker room guy.
Yeah. Who's with you in the locker room?
At that time,
Yeah.
one that he wasn't with us all the time. He was already playing for the second team. But Leão was in that group as well.
Rafael Leão.
Rafael Leão.
Rafael Leão.
Nice. Some nice names.
Very nice names, huh? Portugal, Sporting, Rafael Leão. I'm going to ask you this right off the bat. Rafael Leão. Or Vini.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that.
Rafael Leão or Vini.
What I like about Vini is that he doesn't care. He could miss a rainbow. The next one is coming.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get at you. He's going to go and go and go until he gets what he wants, you know? I don't think if Leão had the same mentality as him, I think that would put him in a Ballon d'Or position. But that Brazilian thing, you know, and I cannot choose a European on my paper, bro. So I will stay with Vini on that one.
Even with the smile, he plays with a smile all the time.
But I don't think but it's just who he is, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't expect a player to do what other players can because their personality is not the same. They don't operate the same. So you have to find a way to extract the best out of this athlete from what he's good at. You know, and then Vini got the streets on him. You can see.
But you were living in Portugal and you were enjoying your time until you had to move again. Why did you move again? Why did you move from Portugal to Spain?
So when I turned 18, you got to a point where you either sign a professional contract and have a plan for me to make to the first team or the second team, or I'm gone.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah. So we got to that point. We are approaching the next season, preseason, the following preseason, and we did not get an agreement. My agent at the time, he went there, spoke to them. And I was also going through an injury, if I'm not mistaken. Worst time to...
In Spain?
Yeah, in Portugal.
Portugal?
Yeah, it was the worst time to negotiate a contract.
What injury did you get?
I had like a lot of pain on my pubalgia area where I couldn't kick, I could barely run. So I had a lot of pain. No, hip flexor, like below the belly button. And then I was struggling a lot with muscle imbalances. And that was definitely something that was in between me and living that professional, high-level Champions League lifestyle as an athlete.
The injury?
I think injuries has always played a big role. I don't want to be one of those guys, but I definitely was not fortunate when it comes to being healthy.
Yeah. And we'll definitely speak about that because of current situations with you, where you are now. But you didn't sign in Portugal.
No, I didn't end up signing the contract, and I moved to a club in Barcelona, which wasn't the ideal scenario for me. And I was having a lot of implication when it comes to visa status at the time too. And then that was the easiest way to get it done, was to get me to a small club where I could not only show what I'm able to do, but it would be an easier path to the first team, which will be like the ultimate goal in playing in a professional club in Europe. and showing what I'm able to do and how different I am, to possibly make a move to an even better club, which has happened before.
Yeah.
So
At this club.
yeah.
I mean, you were still living on your own.
On my own. I had a roommate actually.
You had a roommate?
Yeah, I had a roommate. This guy was nice. He was Brazilian as well. And then we were, our careers were being run by the same guy. So we used to spend a lot of time together. And on top of that, we played against each other when we were younger in Rio.
Really? Did you know that?
Yeah, we knew
Yeah,
it.
you knew
We
it,
knew
yeah.
we were close.
Yeah.
And then we happened to live together in Europe again.
Really?
Him-
From just was this arranged or
No, I think we are both in the same positions at that time.
it just happened to come?
And it
together?
happens to get recruited by this agent.
And the agent, you said you stayed at the agent's house.
I did at some point.
Oh, wow. What was that? How was that?
I think he had everything that you dream when you imagine like how a professional soccer player house would look like. Big screens, video game, like a soccer field, pool, a
Everything.
gym. So like there was like also like you pushed me to take it more serious also, to see the way that he could take care of his family too. Because at that point you already have like an idea of what life is.
Yeah, what to expect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that would have been like, okay, I want this.
Yeah,
I
big
want
wake up
this.
call. Yeah.
I want this. But you're playing in Spain. You enjoy your time.
Barcelona, how can you how can not
How can you not?
how can you not?
I guess so.
Nice city, a lot. Like it probably was the best time that I had away from home. Not gonna lie,
Barcelona.
no classes.
You went
Wake
to-
up,
Nothing.
showtime,
Football.
go back, video game, sleep. Next day, same thing again.
Same thing.
And I'm not I'm one of the best cities in the world. It's Barcelona. Messi at the time was playing for them. Suarez, they had a really nice squad. I would go to the games and watch it. Amazing. It's
At that
amazing
time,
to
yeah.
watch, yeah.
Why leave it?
I think it got to a point where I realized that I could either be a low-tier professional player for a long time and maybe get to the big stage, or I could go for a safer option, which is going to school and get to play the game at the same time. Because when I went to Sporting, my goal was not only to play. My dad always implemented that, look, I know that our players over there playing the second team and they attend universities in Portugal. So since we speak the same language, that made a lot of sense. So going to Sporting wasn't just because of the game. It was because I had a path through education as well. And in Spain, the wages they offered me at that time, it would not make a huge difference in my life where I could, okay, let's fly my parents to Europe and we're going to have a good time. I can save up and buy a house. It wasn't not like that, nothing like that. I could pay my rent, buy some shoes here and there, eat once or twice away during the week. And it would be that life if I didn't move to a bigger club.
Yeah.
And at that time, I had a conversation with the director, the GM, the general manager of the club, and they didn't seem really excitement in
Excited to have you.
have me. And I was fighting against 34, 33-year-old guys that has been playing on that league for the last 10 years. And this skinny kid from Brazil is going to come up and do short time. Well, I'm not Neymar.
I see the humility side to you, showing humility, I guess.
Yeah, because I think, to be honest, bro, once the ball runs, I remember at practice, I was doing something, here and there, stealing, but they're grown men.
The safe option. Was this the best option?
So I had a contract on the table, and I'm real. going back to my house every day, talking to my parents, like, how come you're not gonna let me go?
That you
And-
go.
Yeah. And he's showing me all these videos of the college cups here, which is nice, bro. You get like a lot of fans. ESPN Plus, according to the game, the cameras on your face.
That's
I was
what
like,
he- that's what
oh,
he's showing
that's
you.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, those guys are having a good time. But I didn't take it serious.
He's showing you that because he's encouraging you to look at the other options.
Yeah.
The safe options.
He wasn't he wasn't a big fan of the for what they offered me when it comes to length of contract.
In Spain.
So it was a year contract. So it was basically a tryout
Yeah. Yeah.
for a year, see what I do, and if I do well, they renew. If not, so
That
it's
is-
a
yeah.
lot to bet.
Yeah. That doesn't sound very
Appealing,
concrete.
yeah, concrete.
But the safest option.
The safest option was to study, which I hated,
This is great advice, bro. Great advice.
which I hated with all my strength. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to sit down and read in this book. I want to play
Okay.
and have fun.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do when you're 18. You want to play, have fun, play, have fun, play, have fun. And he somehow, since I respected my dad a lot, deep down on my conscience, I was like, I think you should do this. And I followed it, what he was telling me to do. But I was really reluctant
Reluctant.
about it. A lot of fights because I did not want to move to the U.S. to attend university and play college athletics. I did not want to do that. And you know how I thought? I was like, okay, I'm going there. I'm doing Showtime for a year. I'm going pro, and I'm going to, just not attend university anymore because I did not like to study.
But you did move.
I did.
You regret it?
No.
Why not?
I feel like my undergrad experience was way, way above what I was expecting. Way above what I was expecting.
Really?
I got to see amazing cities, get in touch with amazing people, shape myself in the man that I am today. And on top of that, a lot of security when it comes to my post-athletic career, which is a college degree.
That's where you are now.
I'm still in the process. I'm still studying,
You're
but
still studying, still learning.
but it's a little bit different than what it was on my undergrad.
Yeah.
Undergrad is nice, bro. You're just like in touch with people on campus.
Did you see all this before coming to the US when you didn't want to come?
No, I started realizing it when I got to the
got to
airport.
the-
First of all, I landed in Miami. I was like, oh, that's nice. You get in the plane and you're looking at the window. Like, oh, Miami. Woof. I'm far away from home. And it feels way more exciting than going to Barcelona for some reason. I remember posting selfies. I arrived. Fire emojis. I was excited. And then when I got to the university as well, it's crazy how here in the US they have such unique aesthetics. You know, something that really caught my attention when I got here. You know, when you go to the cafeteria and you have all these flavors, it look like a McDonald's. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say the brand.
Like different.
Fast, when you're a fast food chain and you can choose your drink and then it comes out. I thought that was amazing.
No, I know what you mean because they had different like colors and like
Yeah,
and then there were so many.
And then I was like, right now. In the cafe, in the university, in the cafe, you see everybody sitting down, eating all the sports. So that environment was so nice, bro.
For you.
And then that definitely had a positive impact on me. People going from class to class in the breaks, stopping to speak with each other. I love that. I don't know why, but I love it. You probably know because when I walk around, I'm always talking to people.
Your first school in the US.
I was recruited for a NIA school in Kentucky, Lindsey Wilson.
Lindsey Wilson. Was that your first option?
Yeah, first and only.
First and only option.
I had no grades.
No grades, and you didn't speak English.
Yes. If you are being nice to me. I probably, when I went to pick a normal light in the morning, I was saying gracias, which is like thank you in Spanish.
Spanish, yeah.
For you to understand how underdeveloped my English was. I had no skills at all.
Really?
Zero. Communication was really bad. I couldn't write. I couldn't speak. I couldn't listen. I could only see. And I couldn't read. I was basically like...
Just existing.
Existing, a vegetable.
Hey, but like, you played. You did play.
I did not play. I came in the spring.
Oh, yeah, you played in the spring. You came in the spring, but you left. Or did you stay?
Yeah, because it was COVID.
What the COVID year?
COVID happened,
2020.
and I went to Florida.
In 2020?
Yeah, I'm so glad that COVID happened.
Why?
Because remember when I went to Miami, I flew from Miami to Kentucky, and then Kentucky is not nice, bro. No, it's not nice. So what happened? COVID happened, and I drove all the way to Florida. So I saw the U.S. with different eyes. I was like, oh.
What? So you drove to Florida after how many?
So spring break.
Oh, spring break.
Yeah. Florida. COVID happened. I never came back. COVID happened. I never came back. Never.
Florida.
Yeah. Oh, one of my friends, he went up. I didn't even go to pick up my suitcase. I asked him, bro, can you pick? My roommate at the time that we were sharing the house together, he went up there because he was graduating. So I was probably like a good 2 months with one backpack and one carry-on. Because I did not want to go up there. I was having a good time in Florida.
Yeah. But you're still a footballer.
Yeah, I was training.
Yeah.
I was training.
You're training.
Yeah. But it was a lockdown. So I was running by myself. I remember chasing cars.
School? Non-existent.
Online.
Yeah,
boy. Can you imagine if it wasn't online? I would have failed more than one class.
But you didn't.
I did it. I worked it. Only one that I didn't pass. English. It's understandable.
Yeah.
It's understandable.
Transferred now.
Transfer. JUCO.
Casper. Wisconsin. Wyoming. On the other side of the country.
Crazy.
The top.
Florida, Wyoming. Big flights, like 3-4 hours. And I'm landing. You know how crazy it is that I'm landing in those places that I've never been to in my life, not knowing no one.
And you never thought you'd be to, ever.
My life here in the U.S., bro, it's a box full of surprise. I might wake up tomorrow in California, bro.
Hey, man. With the JUCO and Casper, a pretty well-known JUCO.
For basketball, not for soccer.
Not for soccer. You're coming in there. What are your initial intentions if you're going to junior college? I
was so clueless.
Clueless of what the thing was.
I was so clueless. I was like, okay, giving me my cleats. What time is practice? I'm putting the show, going back to my room. I didn't want anything to do with bad, negative thoughts. I just wanted to have a good time and experience things. I was very raw. I was raw in the country. So everything that came my way, I saw with good eyes. So I would see a guy walking with a cowboy boots and a hat, a cap on campus. I was like, what is this? And I take pictures, send to my parents. Look what I see today. Look, this is crazy. He thinks he's nice. Nothing against the Cowboys, by the way. I think y'all have your unique style, but that's not how people move where I'm from. You know, I thought it was so nice and weird. And then it was new. Freshman year is the best year, I think. I think it's hard to beat it. I think freshman is nice. Freshman, you come in. Sophomore, you're still trying new things, but you're getting more experience. Junior is when you make solid about everything, like soccer and academics.
Focus.
Yeah. And senior is when you almost fully shaped, you know, as a
person.
As a person, yeah, you already have an idea.
You should, or
you already have.
You have one.
It hits.
You have one.
It hits, yes, because it's getting done, and you look back and see what have you done in the last few years, and it's a finish line. You want just to finish it and get the medal, which is like the diploma. You want to get it done to show your family what have you accomplished, or your loved ones, and for yourself to show that you're capable of.
Yeah. But you knew you weren't gonna stay at Casper because it's only a 2-year college. So, considering anybody that's going to a junior college that wants to play at a higher level, they know you're not staying there. You're not staying there for. You may not even stay there for the full 2 years. You may leave after 1 year.
Maybe you stay for 1 semester.
1 semester. Play.
Yeah, there's like.
Yeah.
I've had teammates that played 1 semester, went to a different school.
Different school. Higher level.
Yeah, division. Like most of that team that we played, they happened to get Division 1 scholarships. Some of them went Division 2, some went the NIA, but majority of the team, I would say, had really good scholarships to go to attend good universities.
Yeah.
Yeah, across the country.
But then, this is where it gets a bit tricky for me to understand. You suffered with injuries for a lot of your career, and this isn't where it started, but this is where you managed to get the most serious injury, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think, if not the worst nightmare of any athlete. My freshman year, I was finishing the season. I had everything in my favor. Good grades. I was an amazing kid. Athletic-wise, I was having an amazing year as well. I was named All-American, All-Region, now everything. And I was going to that summer. Look at this, the summer of my freshman year. After all I've done, passed my classes, improved a lot as a student. And in the field, I was a beast. Good momentum. That's the time you start to figure out where you're going to go. Because you want to come back to the sophomore year already knowing that you have options. So I had a bunch. I had like 10, 15 people trying to reach out to me and get me to their university, which is amazing. I think that was probably one of the moments that I felt the most, not loved, but like we all want to be loved and praised for what we love to do.
Wanted.
Yeah, wanted. I felt wanted, and I felt like I was in a movie, getting all those people trying to talk to me. And then I had that summer, that very same summer, knee injury, which was an ACL tear.
This summer?
Yeah, on my right knee.
How'd that happen?
Playing summer ball. I went to, like every college athlete, finished the spring. My coach was trying to figure out where they would place me, where I could make connections with different players and also improve my English, improve my social skills, and also get to know a different
network.
state. It's important when you're going through college here, I feel like. And they got me a team to play for in Florida. That's where I happened to have my right knee injury, which turned my life upside down. And definitely changing that direction of my future. Sometimes for good, you never know.
It was a left knee or right knee?
Right knee.
Right knee for the first one. And then ACL tear.
ACL
Only
tear.
ACL?
No. It was multiple injuries. I had a lot of cartilage damage, meniscus. Both were compromised. It wasn't just a scratch. It was like completely tear. Like broke in two.
Mm-hmm.
And it had a big gap in the middle. They had to close it up, clean, fix it. It was a big surgery.
Which left you on the sideline for a couple months.
12 months.
12 months before you could start
playing again.
When did you start running?
That was a rough one. I had definitely 6-7 months of being inactive, just doing like strength workouts. And that's when after I think month 6, 7, and I was pushing it because I wasn't definitely not able to. I wasn't able to run. I had a lot of limitations on my knee.
Out of those offers and the interest that you had, how many of those stayed?
2.
Really?
Out of 15, 16.
When you told the coaches, "Oh, coach, I just tore my ACL," what did the most?
I mean, I haven't even like spoke to them personally.
Yeah.
Because we had an initial interaction with some of those schools, and after that, I was planning visits so I could see campus and possibly sign a letter of intent and give them my verbal commitment. However, since the injury happened, they didn't even want to talk to me again.
Really?
Yeah. I was just speaking to my coach about it, and he was like, yeah, they are really frustrated with it. And you know how those Division I schools, they have not only your name in the board, but like 10 more at least they could reach out and make a contact with. And then it was rough. Surgery is never an easy moment to go through. And I was so young at that point. I think I went home. I went home for my first one.
After the surgery?
Yeah. No, not after the surgery. To do the surgery.
To do the surgery you did in Brazil?
I did in Brazil. Because I had a doctor that I trusted. And it was just like way more comfortable for me to be at home on this delicate moment and have my loved ones by me. And also being having conversations with the surgeon on my own language so he could explain, look, that's what we're looking at. That's what we have to get done. We need you to relax and let us work and trust us. So having this touch with the doctor, it was definitely different since our people also culturally is way more warm and
accepting.
Welcoming.
Welcoming.
Yeah. So I felt way more confident in doing the surgery at home than in the U.S.
You did the surgery, but out of all the offers or interest that stayed, only 2.
True. And one of them still wanted me to come and...
Yeah.
One was concrete, and the other one, it was a maybe. They really liked me. However, they're still like, oh, should we give the money to this guy?
But which one took you?
Longwood University.
And that was the concrete one?
It was a concrete one. Because it maybe it's a feeling. The coach, they have a feeling for people, you know? And they knew I needed a big scholarship. They still managed to bring me in, you know, in the same amount that they're offering before. And I really wanted to go to a school where the coach would treat me like one of his own, you know? I think that's very important for you to pick who's going to manage your life a guy that coach that you can trust, and that is gonna make you feel special as a player and as a person. And he will, no matter what, help you reach the ultimate goal, which is graduate.
Quick fire questions. I've actually asked this one before to an athlete. Play professional in the 4th tier in Brazil, right? But, let me see what it is. No, should I ask that? Play professional for the 4th tier in Brazil, but play for Brazil.
Play for Brazil, the national team?
Yes.
The national team?
Yes.
How they're picking you from the 4th division? Doesn't matter.
Hold on. Doesn't matter. But play in the 1st tier in the US, MLS, but play for Argentina.
Ooh, nah. Give me that Brazil locker room. The locker? What
tier.
you mean?
4th tier.
4th, yeah. If I get to spend time with Mickey.
But you're only playing like twice a year.
You got Neymar in the locker, bro.
You're playing 1st division US, MLS, but you're playing for Argentina.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm home. Can I pick the state?
In Brazil? Oh, in MLS?
No, in Brazil.
Yeah.
Real.
Yeah. But you're 4th tier though. Doesn't matter.
Hey, you're telling me that I spent time with Neymar in the locker, and I get to go out with him after. I'm staying with Neymar.
So it's because you're playing with
Brazil, I think it makes
because it's Argentina.
It's because I'm playing with my idol. I don't think you understand how is that.
Playing for Brazil.
Yeah, it's like you're a superstar. You feel like you're a rock star.
I know, obviously, that wouldn't happen if you're in the 4th division, but I did have to.
And then I'm at home. I'm eating.
Yeah, you're real.
Yeah, there's no life better than that.
Okay. Oh,
the money the same.
The money's. What do you mean?
The money the same, like in the US and Brazil.
Oh no, you getting 4th tier money, bro. You 4th tier money, 4th division money. You're getting MLS salary.
Sticking to my roots. I love to do this thing. I don't do it for the money.
So it has to be because of Argentina. Because you're representing Argentina.
Yeah, like it makes no sense for me, honestly. Why would I play for Argentina? I wouldn't even feel good wearing the jersey. I would get to the locker. They'll be playing the music. Messi gonna be like boring, boring. At home is home.
Sounds like a lot of hatred. That's what it sounds like.
I'm hating. Okay. Tell you how much you want to say hate. Say hate. I hate them. And I'm on blue now. It makes no sense.
Oh man, but not favorite. Hardest player you played against, or best player you played against.
Vini.
Against.
Vini.
You know why I asked you that question? Because I'm gonna make another comparison.
Don't do that. I know already what's coming.
I didn't mention it before. You didn't mention it before, but you did play against or play with at some point, Rodrygo.
Yeah, growing up.
Which club? Is it Flamengo or is it Fluminense?
I played for Fluminense against him. Fluminense and Santos. Yeah.
He played at Santos.
Yeah. He was 1 year younger though.
He's 1 year younger. He's 202.
2-1. 201.
Oh, you're 2000.
2001.
Is he the hardest player you play against? Rodrygo.
I would say, like, what makes hard as a defender to face when it comes to wingers? How quick they are, technical. Can they cut to both legs? And he had all of that on his advantage against me because of how quick he could move his feet and how skillful he was, skinny. Vini was an arrow. You couldn't touch it. Pace, strong.
Agile.
Rodrygo, he put him in skate too. Full, where the ball at? Oh, I'm going here.
So there is a comparison, but there is a difference in the players
Yeah.
and what they can offer. I guess. Yeah, that's true.
But I would still pick Vini.
Vinny,
Personality.
as the most difficult player.
Yeah.
So he'll be the best player you play with as well.
Yeah. I mean, the numbers, what is happening right now says a lot about it.
Hey, man. Away games or home games to play?
Home.
Home? Why?
Because I think your performance comes a lot of how comfortable you are and how confident you are. Some players, they feel better playing against like in away games because of the amount of pressure there are from the other team on them. Other fans, I would love to play at home where I'm used to play. Sometimes you practice in the field the night before the game, and it's home. Like
Home environment. Yeah. Easy answer. Well, some people would say away.
yeah,
'cause
some
of
people say
the atmosphere of being against fans that don't like you. It's a preference.
it's okay. Like
Yeah.
it's nothing.
I mean, it just depends on the player.
Asking where if they play like two legs, where they would play the next game, where they'd rather play the next game. They'll definitely say at home.
Out of the 5 things you told me at the start, what's the best thing to do in Brazil?
That I miss the most. Right now, food.
Food.
Yeah, eating.
What's the best meal? A plate of food. Give me a plate of food.
We have something called feijoada, which is like
Feijoada.
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 It's like beans with a lot of different types of meats on it,
Mm-hmm.
like sausage,
Like beef?
steaks, beef, everything together,
How is it done? Is it barbecue?
blended. So no, you basically cook the beans on a big pan, and you throw all of this inside, and and then you close a pan,
You
a
throw
pressure
all
pan.
the meat inside.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and the meat cooks itself in there.
Oh, it's like a stew.
Yeah. And you have like Brazilian flour, so we do cabbage, rice, beans, that beans with the meat, and Brazilian flour. Amazing. And French fries.
Flour?
Yeah.
Flour.
Brazilian flour is like a farofa, we call farofa.
Like a flour?
Yeah. Not flour, flour.
Like
You
powder?
know, yeah, powder.
Oh, the flour.
Yeah.
So do you make like a dough? Or you just flour?
No, there's like a lot of things that comes to it. I'm not gonna be.
Oh, but
able
you
to
put
explain.
flour in the
Yeah.
stew.
Uh-huh.
If I go to Brazil, I'll try it. Let's see. Favorites artists to listen to before a game?
I would have to pick an American one.
You
No.
gotta say American artist.
J. Cole.
Yeah. Why?
Relatable.
Makes sense. In what way?
I think he speaks a lot about situations that he has experienced in his life, and that's like pretty common in college because I also went to school. So he talks about financial struggles. He talks about struggling to have motivation. He talks about happiness, love. it talks about like life scenarios that I've been through in my life. So it's easy to
Relate.
like more things that you relate to.
We spoke about your experience in Spain. If your experience in Europe in general went to plan, sign a contract, whether it's in Portugal or Spain, sign a contract, I'll give you this option. Play in Europe, but retire at this age, 25. But you play at the highest level possible. Highest league, wherever it's in England, Spain, Portugal, highest league, right? Or play in the US without the injuries you've had and succeeded at the Division 1 level and stayed at the Division 1 level.
I want to play college.
I want to play college.
Did I get you graduate?
Yes, with a degree.
It's hard to tell because I haven't enjoyed my hard work for my college years.
You haven't enjoyed it?
No, because I'm still in school. So maybe in 5 years when I'm 30 and I have my life figured out, maybe I'll probably choose the college one instead of the European one because of how that would affect me long term.
I see what you're saying.
But at this moment, I think I would choose Europe.
Choose Europe?
Yeah. For Champions League, bro. Ta-na-na. Ta-na-na. Big screams, you know.
Yeah. Let's choose a basic question. At Longwood especially, because that's when you were in... This when you were playing.
Prime.
I wasn't going to say it. You said it. I wasn't going to say it. At Longwood especially, or even before Longwood, let's say Casper, in between that phase, getting to play at Longwood. What's a pre-game meal, best pre-game meal for you?
You know what? I would never eat with a team. How fun is that? So no.
Casper,
I have this thing.
Casper?
Yeah, I have this thing with me. I would cook my own brown pasta.
Wheat.
Whole wheat pasta, broccoli, a little bit of white sauce. That's it.
Whole wheat pasta, broccoli. That's it. And white sauce. That's it.
That's not pre-game meal.
But you wouldn't eat with the team because you wanted to make the food yourself.
Yeah, I wanted to eat myself what I like to eat. So they would have a lot of different stuff, but I would still show up with my own meal and eat on my top. How do you say it? Like the bowl? I had a plastic bowl.
Yeah, Tupperware. Yeah.
Tupperware.
Mm-hmm.
You never see me doing that.
Probably.
Yeah, I do that. I have this. Sometimes I do boiled eggs. I throw some boiled eggs in there.
Interesting. Well, whole wheat pasta, yeah. The white sauce.
There was one time that I was struggling a little bit to have energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I would take like a specific liquid to get me going.
Is it like caffeine?
Yeah.
It's like a gel?
Yeah, like a gel. But that was a really short amount of time. I usually don't need none of that.
I know a lot of players take like a Monster energy drink before a game.
Nah, I'm not in favor to that. I hate energy drinks. Yeah, I don't really like it.
Sure. This is preference. I don't do it, but like I've seen players do it before. Yeah. I want to give you a hard one. Because playing Brazil, right? With your family, living,
I don't even want to listen to the second one.
I know, that's the thing. Hold on, I'll give me a good one. Playing Brazil, right? Family, everyone's there. You're playing, you're enjoying life. You're in Brazil, home. Or succeed exponentially in Europe, but you still manage to get a degree before that when you were in sporting. Move on to play in Champions League, highest level. Make a good salary, make a good,
And never get to play in Brazil.
Living. Never played in Brazil. Also, you only return home to Brazil after your career.
I'm gonna make you a question now.
Yes.
Which one of those give you the fat contracts in China or Saudi Arabia?
Which one of those?
Yeah.
Out of those two options?
Yeah. If you say me Europe, if you tell me like you play 2 years in Europe, 3 years, and you go to Saudi, pockets, I'm going to Europe, and I'm only showing up in Brazil to where the barbecue at? Boom. Dad, you wanna bring my mom to Qatar?
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Is money the biggest motivator?
At this point, I think it is.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be away from my family if it wasn't because of financial.
Mm-hmm.
So, and most Brazilian players, they opt the same. They have the same behavior. They go away from their family, so they can earn more, and then return afterwards if they want to. Because some of them stay. They remain living in Europe even after their career is done because they build a life in there.
Yeah.
All their connections, and they are so used to live in Europe that doesn't make really much sense for them to return. Because also they have kids and their kids are going to school. It's really hard to be moving them around like that.
But you managed to build a life here.
I did.
You still go home every once in a while. Not too often. But you managed to make a life here. Longwood had the injury, yet he took you on. You had to go through rehab while coming to Longwood. You haven't played yet at this point. Well,
I played the...
transitioning into
Longwood. The preseason.
But you were injured though.
I was injured in the first year after the first game, I think. No. The first year I didn't even play a game. I got injured first week of practice.
But you were recovered from
Fully recovered.
Then you got injured. What'd you get? What'd you injure?
ACL, but the other knee.
First game.
No, it wasn't the first game.
First practice.
It was first week of practice. It wasn't necessary.
2023?
Yeah. 2022.
Two. Fall. First practice.
First week, yeah.
Other knee?
Other knee, it was a play where I got myself in a spot where I was ahead of the striker and he pushed me. And when I landed, it was an awkward landing, so my knee twisted. And then whenever your knee go inwards, your ACL gets stretched. And then it breaks. Boom.
And that's what happened?
That's how it happened, the second one.
Did you know it right away?
Right away. I was walking out of the field and heading to the locker already thinking when they're gonna give me the news, just schedule the MRI and let's get it done. Yeah. I was really motivated at that point too, to bounce back from a second one. Because it was either that or not finish my education and jeopardize everything that I've worked at that point.
Your coach put trust in you to remain fit because you came in with the injury. But then you got another ACL injury in the first practice. What was his reaction?
His reaction? I think he was such an amazing person. He tried to take the weight away from me and understand that this is that's what happened. And now we're here to move forward. I'm here to support you and then make sure you're all right. And I remember one thing that he told me, that it was easier to move forward it was, look, I've been seeing you. I know who you are, even though you just got here a couple months ago. And I'm going to guarantee you now that you're going to walk out of this university with a degree. So that trust that he gave to me, and also make me feel comfortable and welcome at that point of my life, it was definitely a life-changing scenario, because I could get my head in the right place and work towards the goal.
Yeah.
Which was to get back to the field.
Get back to the field. When did you get back to the field?
12 to 13 months later.
But that'll be in this. It was past the spring though. Past the spring.
No, in the spring I was practicing a little bit non-contact, and I would hop in as a neutral player, and the guys, they wouldn't touch me. They would just let me be around them. And then we moved summertime. I spent half of my summer in Florida and half of my summer at home with my parents. And senior year came up, 2024.
24. And you were there or you were home? You were home for some of it?
For some of it. So for some of my summer.
Your summer, you were home?
Yeah. But in the fall, I came back to the university.
Yeah.
And
to play.
Yes, and it was definitely sweet, because it was final run, final stretch. I went home because I needed to see my parents and experience how life is tough in Brazil, to feel my desire to win. And I returned with the ultimate goal to have fun, have a good time, and enjoy the life that I've worked for the last 3 years.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's what happened. I had an amazing time.
You told me senior year. You did say that the senior year is the year that you find yourself.
Yeah, it was definitely the year that I found myself fully.
You found yourself, bro. And then you graduated.
At the end of the process, as he approaches graduation time, is nice. You walk around campus, you see people talking about it, the commencement. They talk about they reminisce their stories with you, professors, faculty, staff, because you are known already, because you've been spending time with those people. So it's basically them handing you something that has way more value than money. I don't think money could buy that. The impact that a degree has on a family and on you as an individual, it is priceless, I would say. That's why I feel like senior year was... Freshman is the best because everything's new. Senior is the final stretch where you're about to get your crown. You turn into a king, I would say. Yeah. Or a queen.
But that wasn't it for you. That wasn't it. Because you made the decision to continue school. Is there a reason why you thought, well, look, I have an opportunity to further my education? Why?
Remember when you're saying you find yourself? I found myself in senior year. I realized I need more findings.
You need more findings. You had more findings to do.
I had more findings to do. I definitely had more findings to do. So as an international, you are not well seen in the corporate world when it comes to jobs because of how tight it is to work. So you get 1 year of experience post-graduation. since I was not thinking at the game about the game, like, okay, I'm gonna play professionally. I'm gonna make this my income. I did not see the game like that anymore. So I was like, okay, on top of furthering my education, I get to meet more people, possibly finding a job while still doing school, and more time for you to sit down and think of what you want to do moving on from school. Sometimes 4 years are not enough.
Yeah.
So that was my head when I was going through this process of making a switch to grad school, this transition. And also you get to play
Continue
as
to
well,
play.
continue playing.
You moved to Southern Nazarene University. Now, Vic, that's where we are right now, right? Now you can talk about your reason for coming here. You wanted to play, and you want to continue your education. A master's in exercise science.
Exercise science, STEM.
STEM.
Masters in science and exercise science. Who would tell that kid, 18-year-old kid, they would believe in this? Insane. Top student in the class.
Are you satisfied where you at right now?
I think satisfied that we are never going to be satisfied. I think we're always going to be looking forward to what we're doing next. Maybe I can reach new levels.
Mm-hmm.
I can make more money. I can meet more people. I can travel more. I can play better. You're always seeking this improvement, and I would say I move the same way. I'm definitely happy in being able to further my education. Sometimes I feel lost, but also I know that I'm not there yet. So it's not, I don't have to have it figured out right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough. It's getting to a point where you have to do big decisions. But that's the beauty of living the life, you know. You go and figure it out as you go.
Tough decisions, big decisions.
But I'm definitely happy with what I accomplished. Yes. My life could have gone so many different ways. And being in school takes your focus away from what's going on out there that are not really for you, that don't benefit you in anything. I've had friends that went through tough situation when it comes to housing, food, even safety. And school is such a welcome and caring environment.
Mm-hmm.
It makes way easier to go through it in school than out of school. On this transition, what I mean by that is just like undergrad, straight to work life and to the open world. Grad school is like in between. You get a little bit there, but you're not there yet. But you're also not undergrad, so you taking a few steps is gonna make your legs stronger.
Yeah. What's next? What's next for you?
I want to be special in whatever I do. If you tell me I have to work in a hospital and have 3 kids, I want to be special at that. You know?
That sounds very specific. That sounds like a plan.
Yeah, like that's what comes to my mind right away. If you want me to run a franchise and have a girlfriend, get married, and then choose to have my kids later on, Let's be special at that. I feel like is how much effort you put into it, how much passion you have to it, and how happy you are doing it. And I want to be happy and special in what I do. What's next? You never know. You might see Vic. Like I could work with sports. I could work with
healthcare.
I could do if I'm being really bold. Approach a professional career as outdoors or indoors.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's hard to find a path when you still are not there yet. I think some of those decisions, they come to a point where you have to take one. I haven't got to the point where I have to take this one now. You know?
Yeah.
So my future is open. Wait in the next episodes.
I'm looking forward to see where you go and see what happens with everything that you are planning towards. I think you've given a lot of thought to what has happened to you in your career and what you've done and what you could have done as well. But for the most part, you are content and satisfied with who you've become throughout your career. And it doesn't stop here. From what you're saying, it doesn't stop here. Whether it's in playing, continue playing, or it is in your field of study. You have your associates, you have your bachelor's, and you're going for your master's. And there's not many people that can say that. There's not many people that can say
2, 4, 6. Some people, they stop in the 2. Some people 3, 4. I'm pushing 6. 6 of them things.
Hey Vic, I thank you. And a lot of people thank you too for the value that you've given them. And especially for younger athletes who are looking to listen to someone as experienced as you are. You're 25 now, so look, I appreciate all of what you have shared with us. And yeah, so thank you, bro. Again, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Now, first of all,
For what?
I really wanted to thank you for having me on your podcast.
Uh-huh.
I feel like it's not only an experience for me, for you to do this work, but also me feeling welcome and having a space to share what I have done and accomplished in my life. I feel really grateful for the space you gave to me. And I also can't wait to see what you're going to bring this project to. I always hope to see you succeeding in whatever you choose to do, and being part of this moment with you is definitely priceless. And I hope to be in the future looking back to this and have a big smile on my face, happy that I was able to share this moment with one of my best friends. So
Oh, Vic, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And we're looking forward to that moment. We'll work towards it. It'll be fun. So thank you again.
Ugh.